This episode of Bourbon on Ice, presented by your friend Frosty and your bartender Mike Whiskey, is brought to you by the Cape Media Center of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. The views and opinions expressed during this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the Cape Media Center. Listener discretion is advised. Me me mamo moo. Go ahead, say something.
La 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 la. Da 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 da.
I don't know why we need a show. We could just do this for the next hour.
Bingle bongle dingle dangle, lickety doo lickety da, ping pong, lippy tappy toota.
What's that? Whiskey? Start the music? Okay. Welcome, listeners, to Bourbon on Ice,
where we talk about everything nerdy, like gentlemen.
Join us every week for our local Cape Cod take on, well, everything.
Laugh, cry, be confused, and laugh some more.
I'm your friend Frosty.
And I'm your bartender, Mike Whiskey.
Stay tuned. You think they'll like the episode?
Oh, they'll definitely love it.
Test. You're testing my love for you. Okay, that's a Simpsons reference. I've been watching a lot of them lately. Hi, everyone. This is your friend Frosty.
And this is your guest, Robare.
Again, who are you and how did you get in here? Well, we know who you are, but how did you get in here?
I barged in through the front door, and despite 3 puppies trying to stop me, I still got in. And here I am sitting for you and all your love for me.
You're done.
Buggy.
You're done worshiping yourself.
Buggy's speechless. I love it. Frosty is speechless. I love it.
I am one and the same. I feel so sad that Whiskey is not here and is probably dead or on fire or has overthrown the government of the Philippines and become the de facto ruler. We're gonna see a news story any day now. But
why does he not realize he's making the biggest something of his life?
Oh, he's not making a mistake.
I didn't say mistake. I thought anything but mistake. But still.
I've tried to tell him traveling abroad right now is a terrible idea, but he likes doing it. He loves going, and, I look online and, Paws and Wags there over in London. I hear something bad just happened over there. I'm not sure what.
Really?
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah.
And Ian and his boyfriend, I don't know where they are. I think they're in Greece right now. Just all I know is that everyone is out there exploring the world, and I'm just like, you fools. Don't you realize that that's where bad things are? Stay home.
That's right. Go where there's regular people, like England. No, wait, that's probably not a good idea right now. Think places like Saudi Arabia. Nope, that's not good either.
That's never.
Egypt? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I always wanted to go to Egypt as a kid because, Egypt, pyramids, mummies, stuff like that. But now, no, not so much.
No, Egypt doesn't really like us. Oh, I just read on somebody's Facebook that they're going to, Jamaica. Jamaica doesn't really like us. Doesn't like us.
As gays.
Right,
yes,
yeah.
That is actually
Aruba, that's what it is. They're going to Aruba, and I'm like, Aruba?
Yeah, the Bahamians aren't fond of us either.
Yeah, so it's like, that's why we go to places like San Francisco. I mean, we don't, but we should.
It's going to take a lot to get me to travel at this point.
Really?
Yes, really. I mean, if I had to set my sights on where I'm going to go, probably Providence, and I don't even like cities.
I know, I don't get that. Providence is a decent place to be, more or less.
It's a city, and it's full of, well, admittedly, a couple of my exes, but a lot of drama and misery. Okay, so, everyone, welcome to an episode. I really should have started this tirade off with that. Welcome to another episode of Bourbon on Ice, where we discuss all things nerdy, like gentlemen. And as previously said, Robare is here, sitting in for Whiskey, who has once again fled the country, I think with a suitcase full of diamonds and possible nuclear documents. Oh, wait, no, that's someone down in Florida.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to take the shot. It was right there. And unfortunately, once again, we have been driven out of the station. We are now in my house.
Your house. In the middle of the street.
Why did I know that was coming?
Sorry, copyright infringement. Sorry. Oopsie.
You said you had to get past 3 puppies to get in here. You could have described them as, 3 ferocious, bloodthirsty beasts.
I could, but even I wouldn't be able to get through that without laughing hysterically.
Now, if they stood on each other's shoulders, maybe.
They'd make to my knee.
You are very tall. I hate that about you.
And they are very short.
Well, they're greyhounds. They're not known for their height. They're known for their snoots and running really fast and that ruing noise they make. And then, of course, there's the last one who's a Pomeranian who, strategically placed, he could be a wig.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Or a muff.
Or a Dr. Zhivago hat.
Oh, right. Eat your heart out, Jar Jar Gabor. We got one here.
So, I want to talk very briefly about something that happened in the previous episode. By the way, welcome to fall. It's that season. Everyone can put away the pool toys and take the lawn furniture in. It's over. Give up. It's gone.
No, I refuse. I do not want to believe that this is fall. Summer is still here.
Claffy.
What?
It's Halloween season.
Oh, that's not till October. Unless you're Kirk, then it's like, July.
August. He had his freaking decorations up in August.
You haven't been inside that house yet because the spider...
He hung a giant spider in his living room over the lamp so it looks like it's guarding a clutch of eggs. Yes, I am furious with him and I make him take it down before I go in there.
I've seen the picture. It doesn't look anything like a spider.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It's horrifying. It's huge.
It's like strips of plastic. You love strips of plastic.
I don't know how to respond to that. Now, if he had, murderous clowns all over the apartment, I'd be fine with that. Skeletons, zombies, I'm okay. But that's not even the only one. There's the one hanging in the hall outside the bathroom. There are the plastic ones that are lining the walls. There are the spider webs. There are the ones that are on the cushions. This man and his Halloween spiders, dude, come on. But yes, folks, summer is gone. It's over. It's dead. We shot it. We put it on an iceberg and pushed it out to sea. I'm not really sure you can do that with summer. I think more appropriately you would put it in a canoe and shoot a flaming arrow at it.
Is the water park closed?
The water park is closed.
Good Lord.
It happened. I'm sorry. You didn't even get to see the swim-up bar.
No, I didn't. With the new lazy river? Is it the same lazy river?
It's been moving faster.
Ooh, see that
now it's not lazy, it's passive-aggressive, just like Whiskey always said.
See, that would have been cool. I never got to go on it this year.
No, you never did. None of you ever visited me. You were all like, hey, Frosty, we have an event. It's not going to start on time, and it's going to be late, but we want you to come and be there for like 30 minutes and then make the hour-and-a-half drive back at night, slapping yourself in the face, singing loudly, trying to keep awake. But none of you ever visited me. Also, there was this new job thing.
There was this new job thing that would give you a day off, and you would know about it like the day beforehand, and the rest of us, we need like a week's notice so we can take the day off, because we're not management.
Honestly, I don't understand how I'm expected to live a normal life, but I think I exited that when...
You were born.
I was just going to wave a hand and gesture to like my entire surroundings and myself, but yeah, I think when... that happened, I exited normal.
Yeah.
So, in the previous episode, which I'm going to finally reference again, I decided to get very personal and release a couple excerpts from my hopefully one day upcoming novel, The Sin List. I don't think anyone listened.
I did.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
You did.
Uh-huh.
And it compelled you to give me lots of money so I can self-publish.
Let's not go there.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. But it did inspire you to tell me something that you also have done writing of your own.
Oh, yeah.
And not just any sort of writing, the most sincere form of flattery writing. Fanfic.
Yeah. I've contributed to... So in the sci-fi world, you don't write books. You write stories.
Sci-fi world. Is that something you can visit? Because I would really love to move there.
Yeah, you and me both. So, you write stories, and then you put them together in what's called a fanzine. And I've contributed to quite a few fanzines. My sci-fi club, we put together like 3 fanzines, and most of my stories are Doctor Who based. And
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. This is my shocked face. More popcorn?
yeah, so I've done Doctor Who stories. Friends of mine have done Star Trek stories, and a few people have written original fiction. And then you put it all together. If you're lucky, somebody's dad works at a paper company, and you have access to all sorts of interesting tools. And you put it all together, and then you sell it when you go to conventions.
So wait, this isn't just floating around on the internet. You have actual hard copies of this.
I have actual hard copies
Oh
of
my gosh,
this.
this is amazing.
Oh yeah. I was like, so I'm listening to your stories, and I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to it at work today, and I was like, well, geez.
Frosty is a genius, I tell you.
I don't know about that.
Okay, fine. What were you actually thinking?
But I wanted to show you the stuff that I'd written, but since I'm here and Ed's at home, difficult to do.
I may actually have to visit you at some point. I hear you just got a cedar chest.
My hope chest.
You know, it's really good for keeping leather in.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, gee, I got a whole bunch of leather that's just gathering dust in a room. I could put it in that chest.
Oh my gosh, that's one of the only things I hate about the change between the seasons. When summer moves out and fall moves in, things get really damp. And you have to fight extra hard, making sure that no mildew or anything gets anywhere. You gotta make sure all your gear is nice and fresh. As Leathermen, that's something we have to worry about. You normal people, vanilla people, you don't have to worry about this. But we do.
Wow.
But yeah, cedar chests, they really help.
Nice. So the stories I've been writing mostly, so I kind of do crossover stories between Doctor Who and some other shows, like between Doctor Who and Star Trek, Doctor Who and Red Dwarf, Doctor Who and Quantum Leap. What? What?
Oh wait, speaking of Quantum Leap, what did you think of the first episode of the new series?
It was okay. It kind of needed to be a little less, and it kind of needed to be a little more. I kind of didn't want any references to the old series, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sure how you could tell a new story without it.
Well, they could have done a straight-up reboot. I think it's been almost a week. This is fair game. We're just going to say it. This is not a reboot. It's a continuation.
Right.
There's a title card right at the beginning that even references the events of the previous series. And there are people who are in the same company working with the same project years later. So there's that.
Oh, hang on. So that title card you mentioned, that's how the original series started.
I know.
Because you used to watch the old series.
I did.
Never mind. Okay.
My favorite episode actually it was my first episode. The one where he jumps into the body of Rod the Bod, a Chippendales dancer.
Huh.
I know, that says a lot, doesn't it?
It does. My favorite episode is when he jumps into the life of a hairdresser. Of a male hairdresser, where part of his uniform at the shop is leather pants. So half the episode, Scott Bakula is in leather. Yeah, baby. Hot.
I'm going to just go ahead and point this out. That show was funny. The original series was basically a comedy. It was a sci-fi comedy, but it was mostly comedy. And it didn't spend a lot of its time explaining itself. You just found out this guy jumps into person to person. And there is a weird guy wandering around following him in a silvery jacket that no one else can see him. And they're just saying like, oh, I'm sorry, you gotta do this. I gotta do what? But I don't know how to do that. Well, figure it out within the next hour.
And the guy is holding this, what looks like a
miniature satellite dish.
No. Well, I mean, the new one, but the old one, Al's carrying what looks like a bad piece of Lego, and he's just like punching it, and it's making like stupid doink, beep, doop, boing, doink, doink, doink noises while he's supposedly punching buttons.
It didn't take itself seriously.
It
took like until season 3 for a storyline to appear. Season 5 for actual nemesis to appear.
Remember the evil leaper?
Alia.
Yeah.
Aaliyah. Ada, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Him with an A.
Uh-huh.
And Zoe, the evil controller, the evil version of Al.
Oh, right.
I think her name was Zoe.
Yes. And the Halloween episode where like Al was really like the devil.
I don't remember that one.
I
gotta catch up on that one.
That's a really good one. It's set in New England.
Where else would you celebrate Halloween?
I know, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, a good, true, authentic Halloween. We invented that here, people.
That's right.
I mean, we didn't, but, I'm claiming a copyright. Can we do that?
No, not really, no.
I refuse to believe that.
Yeah.
My final thoughts. It's just, this show, the new version, it's a straight-up drama. There's not enough laughter and hilarity, and they spent a lot of time in this first episode jam-packing all the exposition into it that we were going to need. We could have found out a lot of this stuff in the last couple of seconds of many upcoming episodes, but instead they laid it all out in front of us. Evil conspiracy, he knew what he was doing, amnesia, the two characters that we know are actually together, there's an entire team of people in the background, and we didn't need to know any of this. We could have just been, baited along like with a carrot on a stick, but they have set this thing up to be a straight-up drama.
Hopefully, they've given us a lot of stuff at the beginning. Maybe they'll pull back a bit. You haven't seen the second episode, have you? Is that this week?
Second episode is Monday.
It's a Monday It's a Monday series?
It's a Monday series.
Oh. I watched it on Thursday, so I got all confused.
I know this because it interferes with watching Halloween Baking Championship. Did I mention I'm one of those people?
Yeah. No, you didn't. Really, I should have realized.
The Cape Media Center, located in Dennisport, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, is a non-profit community media center and the public access TV station for the towns of Barnstable, Yarmouth, Dennis, Harwich, and Chatham. Our mission is to build community through media, enhance democratic communication, and facilitate free expression by providing these towns with a state-of-the-art media resource center. Members can become trained in our video and audio equipment and produce their own media content. Membership includes training classes, access to our field equipment, studios and facility, as well as airtime. Podcasters and music producers can share their content on our website. For more information, visit capemedia.org.
This episode of Bourbon on Ice is brought to you by Market Street Bookshop in Mashpee Commons, located at 31 Market Street, Mashpee, Massachusetts. Embrace diversity and find support for local authors and artists at the Market Street Bookshop, where your favorite new read is just a browse away. For more information, give them a call at 508-539-6985. So, we were talking about fanfic, and the absolute crime against nature it is.
What? No. You mean you've never thought about putting your... Have you ever tried writing a Mary Sue?
Let's see. Many years ago, I wrote 5 Star Wars fanfics.
Wow.
Yeah, they were terrible. If anyone finds them, they should, burn them. Burn. And then salt the earth. That bad. And then I wrote Toy Story fanfics.
Wow.
No, this is not something to wow about. They were equally terrible.
Oh. So wait, so you wrote the fanfic, but were you in them?
Maybe.
Well, that's the definition of a Mary Sue adventure. That... What?
There's a name for it?
Yes.
Why is it a Mary Sue?
Because supposedly Mary Sue was the first person. I don't know why it's called a Mary Sue.
Wow.
I'm going to assume that Mary Sue, whoever this person is, was the first one to insert herself into fiction. And the thing with Mary Sue is, you have this nameless person, the author typically, who gets thrust in the middle of an adventure, and they're the ones who save the day.
Of course. I would probably prefer to write myself as a villain, but that's just me because I'm twisted and weird.
Right. And so in your example, the Mary Sue would be like the villain is suddenly revealed to have this cousin who just decides to visit, and they're the ones to come up with the cunning plan to defeat the hero.
Oh my gosh.
So,
and no one sees these are bad things?
I mean, it's not the best thing in the world. It's definitely not something you're going to try and sell, but it's something fun to do.
Now, you made your fanfics with a lot of Doctor Who crossovers. We were discussing that. And honestly, I think that's admirable. Misguided and foolish, but admirable.
Look, you're on a writing deadline, so what I did is I would contribute 1 page of adventure and submit it to my club's newsletter. So every month, I would have a page of adventure. You gotta think of something. You gotta put something out there.
Just a page?
Just a page.
About how long were these?
Like I would try to make them almost like Doctor Who stories. So 4 episodes. It would go 4 months. And then I realized that 4 months isn't enough time. So I'll make it 5 months. And then 6 months. And then I wrote my big bumper crop adventure that was like 2 6-month stories. Back to back. But they fit together.
Please tell me these are like floating around on the internet somewhere for me to salvage and potentially mock.
They are not, but I have them in hard copy.
You should start reading these. You should go online and you should record audio and put them out there. The Robare files.
Oh my god. I wrote this story once. I'm sorry, I keep backtracking. So my fiction is called Memoirs of a Time Lord, sort of.
I like that. I really like that.
The Time Lord, sort of, is me. So these aren't the adventures of the Doctor, they're adventures of me.
I'm sorry, I'm picturing you dressed as Matt Smith. With the fez.
Yeah. It's me with my companion Mimi, who's a real person. I had a canine for a little while.
Oh, yeah. Affirmative. I love that guy. Oh my gosh, what am I looking at here?
Oh, so this is...
Everyone, Robare
sorry.
has held up his phone and he is showing me a picture here. Tell everyone what I'm looking at.
So what I'm showing Boggy is the front cover of my fanzine for Memoirs of a Time Lord, sort of. And there's this app that you could use where you could stick on an honest-to-God Doctor Who logo on top of a picture. So, like, just this bit is real and the rest of this I just did myself. But
you drew that?
No, my friend Joe. Oh. My friend Joe Casey, who...
Call up to Joe Casey.
Oh my god, yes. Basically, Joe doesn't know Doctor Who, so I gave him all sorts of reference materials, and he came up with this look for me, with the pecs and the tank top, and the spectacles, and Mimi. And he's never seen Mimi before, and she really doesn't look like that, but that's okay.
I like this. This is awesome.
It is. And, okay, so that's what it really looks like.
Memoirs of a Time Lord. Sort
of, right.
I love this story.
Because, so basically, the background is, I got, like, a letter in the mail from Gallifrey. They wanted to invite humans to go and learn the ways of the Time Lord. So I go, and I learn things like how to work a TARDIS. And then I discovered that, wow, Gallifrey is really boring, so I'm going to steal the TARDIS. Like, that's never happened before.
No, never. Yeah. I don't even think that there was a long-running show based on that entire precedent.
Yeah, really. And then I go and I visit this guy so he can build me a robot in the shape of a dog.
Inspired.
Uh-huh. That was a completely original idea. So that I could go to Earth and pick up my friend Mimi, which I did. And then we go on adventures together.
I don't like myself. Genuinely have entire issues with myself. I mean, the mirrors in this house, they have absorbed a lot of my hatred. But I've come up with some really good monologues. The point, though, is that whenever I envision myself in these adventures, I'm never me. I always come up with a fantastic persona. It's just, anyone who knows me, if I ever write this stuff down, they just turn to me like, that's you, isn't it? That's you. That's you entire. Like, no!
Yeah.
No! That's, totally different person. Doesn't look like me. Doesn't sound like me. I mean, your friend Schmosty, nothing like me at all.
Right, yeah.
And he's gay. But, so many of us are. And he lives on Schmape Schmod, which is a totally made up place.
Yeah. So Rob and Mimi are traveling throughout the universe in my TARDIS. But my TARDIS,
oh my gosh,
can change its exterior. So my TARDIS can look like what it's supposed to look like. And very often, it's a police box because Mimi wants it to be.
I think that was kind of the intention of the writers all those years ago.
Oh, sure.
If it doesn't look like a police box, it would look boring. We'd have to make some sort of weird generic thing, some space generic thing. This looks more interesting.
That, and it's cheaper than building a new exterior for people to walk out of. One shape, it's cheaper.
We've seen in more recent episodes, they've used this device, this plot device, but it's so well done now that it's completely innocuous, and it's unimpressive. In one of the more recent episodes, the Doctor Jodie Whittaker. Wait, Foster? Whittaker. There we go.
Whittaker, yes.
Oh, wow. My face is really red right now. Okay, she walks out of one, and she just puts her hand on a tree. And she says, thank you, I'll see you later.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize, oh, that was it. It was so unimpressive. And then there's another time that the former characters, Ryan and Graham, walk into the front door of a house. And then the scenery is changed, and inside it's a TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, oh, right, that's why it disguised itself. It wasn't impressive. It wasn't magical or strange. There was no fanfare. So basically, they've perfected technology to the point where you don't really need this. And it's more impressive when it's the blue box.
The Doctor's TARDIS has always been a police box.
Other TARDISes, they've come in contact with several others recently.
Right. So, the Master's TARDIS.
Exactly. It was a house. A
Right.
cabin.
Right, that's right, yes. And, disguised inside and outside.
And it was done so casually.
Yep.
And then we never saw it again.
Yep.
I think it would almost have been more impressive if they made them something ridiculous that could never change, just like the police box. So people were always saying, what is that strange object that's juxtaposed here? Why is there a flippin' circus tent in the middle of nowhere? Why is there always a flippin' circus tent everywhere? Why is there an actual Titanic?
There was a period of time in the 80s where the Master's TARDIS was either a Greek column or a tall plant.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
So people would go, oh, that must be the Master's TARDIS because there's a Greek column in the middle of a field. But the Master's TARDIS is supposed to be able to change its shape, so why it got stuck in that particular shape, the Master just likes it, I guess. I don't know.
Trying to think of what mine would be. Something horrifying. Oh, what would you...
I once had conversations on AOL, so it tells you it goes back a ways.
AIM.
Well, yeah, but
that thing that we first explored cyberbullying on.
Yeah, and something that a guy I know still is the only way that he can communicate.
How? They shut that down?
No, you can get an app for it on the Android.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's out there still.
The nostalgia burns, people.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this friend of yours that you spoke to on AIM.
Yeah, he and I would have cyber chats, and he would give me a TARDIS that was not so much disguised on the inside, but the inside would be the walls would be lined in leather with various
accoutrements.
Thank you. That's exactly it.
You were trying to avoid saying what you wanted to say.
with various devices hanging from the walls, so I would be traveling through time and find somebody interesting and yank them aboard and stick them on the wall.
Oh my gosh! How dare you literally pervert the idea of time travel?
I know. Tell me about it.
It's wonderful, but how dare you?
And it's something I try not to do. I try not to combine basically sex and Doctor Who. I try not to do that.
You would always get so mad when I would show you attractive photos of Matt Smith. And I would say, wow, the Doctor's really hot. And he would just go on these tangents like, that Doctor's not supposed to be hot. He's not supposed to be a sex symbol.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'm sorry, you can't fight what he is.
But you're right. Matt Smith. He's he's built.
Oh,
so
yes.
yeah.
I just saw a meme the other day. I want to say to Matt Smith, thank you for continuing to exist. Apparently, his back hurts so much from carrying the entire season of House of Dragon on his back. That's the spin-off of
Game
of Thrones.
Oh.
He's one of the main characters, and people are saying that apparently he is the best thing about the series.
Really?
Which is great. I mean,
Sure.
I respect the hell out of him. I'm glad. And I also wouldn't doubt it at all. Not that I ever intend to watch it. I refuse to watch.
Oh, why?
It's Game of Thrones. I never bought into the hype.
Oh, all right.
Also, I never had to see a single episode. You just had to log into social media and everyone was telling you about everything.
All right.
Like 1,000 memes. Like, who died in this episode? Oh, the memes have told me. So what happened? Ah, the memes have spoken.
Gotcha.
You know, I was at work the other day, and there were two people at trucks on the left and right of me. I was loading a truck in between them, and one of them turns to me and said, "Hey, you're not watching House of Dragon, are you?" I said, "No." "Okay, so you don't mind if we talk about it?" "No." "All right. There's this character. Do you remember her name? She had white hair, and she worked dragons." And I was just filling in the blanks for them. And, oh my gosh, who are those ice guys that... White Walkers? Oh, right, those. And finally they just turned to me and said, "Did you watch the series?" "No. Not a single episode." "But you read the books, right?" "No."
You just keep hearing about it.
I just keep hearing about it.
That's funny.
It's funny. Your fanfic.
Yes.
Do you follow any others? You could post these. You could write them down, put them online, create a blog or a podcast of your own where you read them.
I did think about that. I thought about, meticulously, retyping them in to some website or something like that. Or maybe find a way to scan it. I know I've got quite a bit of the stuff stored on a CD somewhere.
I've done some searching. It actually turns out that some of the most popular fanfics... Okay, everyone out there, prepare to be shocked and horrified. Harry Potter.
No!
I know, right? It's completely inconceivable. 9 times out of 10, it's people getting their envelopes, their letters, and going off to Hogwarts.
Ah.
And then, this is also something interesting. I didn't realize there was this much of it. There is a large amount of Sherlock Holmes fanfic.
Really?
I know. How does that work? Are you the one who is solving the case with Sherlock Holmes? Or did you get murdered and he's coming to solve your murder?
Well, just because something is fan fiction doesn't mean it always has to be told in the first person.
Oh yeah, there's that.
You know, it could just be people writing a Sherlock Holmes adventure.
Unsurprisingly, Doctor Who and Star Trek and Star Wars, they're up there.
Yep.
People, meeting Luke and Leia and helping to do stuff, and people meeting Kirk and doing stuff.
And let's not forget the Kirk Spock stories.
Oh my, that's not
Slash fiction. It's huge.
Oh my gosh.
I read a Doctor Who slash fiction between the Ninth Doctor and Captain Jack, and I gave it about 3 paragraphs, and I'm like, nope, can't do it. Because again, Doctor Who and sex doesn't work for me.
Now, this is something that disturbed me. There were growing amounts of My Little Pony's Friendship is Magic fanfics.
Oh dear.
Yeah. For those brony people. I believe that horrible person who used to live in my house was a brony. He used to watch the show, and I would take that as a really good time to go to the gym, punch things, run miles.
Right. Yeah. I never watched My Little Pony, just to let you know. I never saw it.
Thank heavens.
No, because no. It's just no.
I know, but...
Although I thought David Tennant, voiced one of the ponies.
I know that he was the voice of Scrooge McDuck in DuckTales,
right,
which I watched every single episode.
There
is a growing market for Doctor Who fanfic. Because it can go anywhere.
Sure.
I mean, it can go literally anywhere and any when. And just the idea of writing out any doctors and putting yourself in as a doctor. What I had absolutely no preparedness for whatsoever was a growing market for Halloween fanfic.
Really?
I know. Halloween.
You mean based on the movies?
Am I doing that right, or did I just do Exorcist by accident? I don't know.
Me neither, but you conjured up the flashing pumpkin.
Also, Friday the 13th. Now, these are leaning close to the area of creepy pasta. But the whole concept overall is that a lot of Wes Craven stuff and John Carpenter stuff are fair game. People saying, I'm going to be the villain. I'm going to outsmart the villain. I'm the hero that takes on this character. I was one of his hapless, teen victims because I was having sex. You wouldn't think that this would be a thing, but it's a thing.
Makes for a short story if you're playing one of the victims.
So, Brad and I were having sex. Then we died.
The end.
And there's music playing in the background. I gotta look this up now. I'm actually wondering. 'Tis the season. We should know that.
Yeah, that's weird. If you're playing a victim, you're writing a story, you don't know who the killer is, you don't know what the resolution is, because you're dead.
Unless it's omniscient narration. Or you come back as a ghost.
I guess you could do that, sure.
I got a friend who wrote an entire book all about the Jersey Devil, but a story is in, they met on a train. And keep in mind, this was back when I had no idea what the Jersey Devil was. You're giving me this look. You don't know what the Jersey Devil is.
A whirling dervish? A dust storm?
Oh my god. Thank heavens you're pretty.
I'm pretty. I am the pretty one!
Yes, it's a beautiful day here on Cape Cod.
Yes, a beautiful day for parade.
And here come the floats. Don't they look spiffy?
First up, a salute to New England sport team. Go teams!
Followed closely by the Easter Bunny on a large egg. Adorable.
And there's a gay pride float. Just look at that shiny rainbow.
And here comes Santa Claus in his sleigh.
And bringing up the rear surrounding the leprechaun float, a team of Irish step dancers. Hey, Frosty.
Yes, Whiskey.
What a birth are we celebrating?
No idea, Whiskey. No idea at all.
Did I tell you there was a ghost in my truck?
No.
It was actually several weeks back. It was one of my first weeks. So it wasn't even Halloween time. It wasn't even witching hour. I was in the truck. I was feeling pretty nervous. I glanced in the rear view mirror on the left. And this is one that I see a lot. It was the tall man with the very tall top hat. I saw him there for 1 second. I looked away and I just bluntly said, listen, whoever's in this truck, I don't have time for you right now. I really need to focus on this job. And when I looked back, he was gone.
Wow. Weird.
Maybe he was trying to give me encouragement or tell me, danger, Will Robinson.
Was that the only time you saw him?
He was the only person I've seen in the truck, yeah.
Whew. Well, at least you don't freak out when you see a ghost.
It depends. I've seen a few.
Ooh.
I mean, Jason visited me once, and that was pretty bad.
Yes, I remember. I remember when you told me that.
And then there was the woman who I literally drove through on my way to a night shift at UPS.
I beg your pardon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, through, right. It wasn't
standing in the road.
Wow.
But actually, I heard a lot of people that along that stretch of road, they do see her.
So the one just standing in the middle of the road and you just like, boom, right through.
Well, it's not like it was a person. It was just, I saw her. I don't like to describe her. It's like reading ancient Aramaic out of a book you find in the forbidden section of the library that you didn't know existed and saying, I wonder what this strange spell does. Let me read it out loud.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like to really describe her.
Okay.
In our very first episode, actually second episode, Whiskey was talking all about the ghost at the radio station we used to work at.
Uh-huh.
And he has an entire stack of tapes, CDs of those shows where the ghost of the radio station showed up on his episodes, and they're all marked, like, destroy these, don't play them.
And how do we know that the ghost showed up during his episode?
He would talk to her, and she would talk back.
And both of their voices would be recorded?
That's what he says.
Oh, but since he's marked don't play them ever again, nobody knows.
How would you like to be cursed for the rest of your life? I'll get him on the phone. I'll say, hey, I got someone who hates his life and wants misery. Give them to Robare.
How does listening to a recording of a ghost?
What if they're cursed? What if she starts haunting you?
Again, it's a recording.
Yes, but that's how they get out. That's how they get around. Have you never seen The Grudge?
No, I haven't.
Look who I'm asking. This is just like when I ask Whiskey if he's watched anything that's on Netflix or television.
Hey, I only just signed up for Peacock, although apparently I've had it all this time anyway, so I can watch Quantum Leap. So I have Peacock, Paramount, and Hulu, and that's it.
Get yourself some Netflix.
No.
That's where the Stranger Things is.
That's okay.
And then you can start singing Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush.
I already knew that song. I remember.
You remember because it was new when you were young?
Shut up. Well, yes, there was that. There was another song at the time called Caspar van Beethoven, Pictures of Matchstick Men. And it was always at number 2 on MTV's, 120 Minutes alternative music program. And it was always number 2 because number 1 was always Running Up That Bleeping Hill.
What can I say? I said a couple of weeks ago, there was no song of summer 2022. I was wrong. When you look back at it, the summer of 2022 song was Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill.
Yeah, from 1985, 6, something like that.
We didn't have time for new music. Away with your Lizzo and One Republic. We have Kate Bush.
That's right. Kate Bush will never go away. Next year, we got to bring back Wuthering Heights.
Oh my...
It's Cliff, it's me, leg in the air.
Okay, I don't think we can top that. Thank you everyone for listening. I just want to say that if you want to reach out and tell us about any fanfic that you've written or happen to love, then you can drop us a line at whiskeyandfrosty@yahoo.com. You can find us on Twitter at whiskeyfrosty. There it is, at whiskeyfrosty. And of course, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Buzzsprout. This has been your friend Frosty.
And this has been your guest star, Robare.
This is usually when Whiskey and I say, and as always, have a cold one on us. So let's do that together.
All right.
And as always,
have a cold one on us.
Do you want to go get a cold one right now? Dinner? You want to?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Okay.
This podcast was recorded at and produced by Cape Media Center on Cape Cod, Massachusetts by podcasting duo Mike Whiskey and your friend Frosty. All music and sound credits go to soundstripe.com. Special thanks to Jamie Horton, Emily Tulloch, Gabrielle Rawson. For more information on Bourbon on Ice, visit our social media page at twitter.com/whiskeyfrosty. For more information on Cape Media Center, visit capemedia.org. For more listening options and a variety of podcasting entertainment, visit our hosts at buzzsprout.com and capemediacenter.org.